actually might work. It's been a minute since I posted anything on my channel, and that's because I'm not a fancy YouTuber. I look like a hot mess. I just got back in from a very quick walk because I was starting to feel lethargic on this very lovely Sunday afternoon. So I went out and walked like 1.88 miles. So not very far. But it was good. It felt good to get out and walk. And oh, you could see the baby cat's big. He's getting so big. BG is also getting very big. In fact, he's too big, and I had to put him on a diet. So far, so good. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. I forgot my shirt was tucked into my sports bra. Anyway, so I wanted to make a quick video, post my before and after pictures from my most recent weight loss journey. And then also give you guys some stats on those photos. So I'm going to stick those pictures in when I edit this somewhere in here. Somewhere. Those pictures should be popping up for you. So the first one obviously being the first photo and the second one being the second photo. Or like the before and the after. I'm not a big fan of before and after. I think it's a little bit weird. Not gonna lie. But just because there's a lot of bullshit out there, like I was like, you know what? I can read to you all the numbers that I want all day long, but if there is not photographic evidence, then, you know, whatevs. So, all of those were taken in the office of my nutritionist, and stuff. So just, they are legit in her. Yeah. So anyway, so I just wanted to give you guys some numbers around those two pictures. So the first picture I was, and this was after what, like a year or 2 years? It must have been 23, like 2 years of me really spending a lot of time, like getting to the bottom of my issues with food, of like why I either was like restricting to the point where it was unhealthy, or why I was like binging, and then really trying to fix that relationship that I had about like, why do I feel a certain way about certain foods and other foods I don't, and like, why does this happen, and then why do I get stuck in this like binge purge hell once every 7 years, you know, and like just different things. And so I gained a significant amount of weight during that time. I think it was like around 36 pounds, probably 35. So, and me, I'm only 5'2.5", so that's quite a bit, right? You know, and so I think I was like 190 or so when I started that journey, and then ended up around that 226 mark. So that's where I started, was 226. I ended my journey at 167, 167.9. It's very Amberlin coded, for a difference of 58.6 pounds. So of that weight that I lost, 36, sorry, let me back up. It's a percentage, not pounds. So sorry, I'm looking at my laptop because I'm not a fancy YouTuber. So anyway, so of that, my body fat percent was 48.7. When I stopped, it went into maintenance. It was 36.9 for a difference of 11.8%. My fat mass went from 110.2 pounds to 61.8 pounds, a difference of 48.4. So that number is also important. So if you know, the total weight loss was 58.6, and then 48.4 of that was fat, and then the other 9.8 pounds was muscle. And that is, I feel like that's pretty normal. Obviously you want to retain as much of your muscle mass as possible during a weight loss journey. So I continue to do CrossFit, 5 days a week, and then do active recovery 1 day a week, and then like 1 day a week where I just kind of chill. And I continue to do that today. That's still my same thing. My muscle mass was 110.2 when I started, and then 100.4. So there's that 9.8 pound difference. So now obviously the goal is to put on mass, like muscle mass versus fat mass. And, I'm trying to figure out what that looks like, right? Because right now I actually don't know. So, and then anything else? Oh, BMI, I could tell you was 41.4 when I started, And then in July, when we stopped and went into maintenance, it was 30.2 for a difference of 11.2. So I'm still fat, but I'm less fat than I was, which is important. And some of this is just one, obviously, for athletic performance. Some of it, for those of you who followed along, is because I have articular cartilage damage in my knee and like will eventually need a knee replacement, and I'm trying to put that off for as long as I can. But I also want to be in a situation where I am at what I would call a more reasonable body weight for my height when I have to have that surgery, just to help with the recovery process. So some of it's for athletics, some of it's for health reasons. None of it is for aesthetics. I do not give a fuck, whatever. So that's where I'm at. I just realized my hands have been in front of my face quite a bit. So I will put one of them down. So I'll only talk with one in front of my face. So that's where I'm at. And so right now I'm in a maintenance phase. Although that is going to be coming, I think, to an end here next month, where I would like to make a little bit of a push to lose maybe a little bit more weight, like a little bit more body fat specifically. Nothing crazy, but just I'd like to try to push that again a little bit. And it's been nice to kind of have this like diet break or whatever you want to call it. For the last few months, my weight has been very stable. My weight fluctuates somewhere between 167 and 169 all the time. So very, very flexible, very, very like stable. But I'm also very flexible in my eating. So I'm not counting macros anymore. I stopped doing that when I started this journey. And then also I think it's just, I'm so used to what I was doing. Like now it seems very easy. Like none of it feels forced, which is nice, because that's really the first time since I began this journey years ago where I don't feel that my nutrition is very forced, where it's not like, oh, I have to eat 150 grams of protein a day or something terrible might happen. I don't know what that is, but something terrible like might happen. Like I don't feel that way. So I'm doing really well, I think, mentally with this. So that's been a huge victory as well. And so we're going to see what else we can get. It may work, it may not. Sometimes you just have to work with what your body's willing to give you. And I don't know at this point what it's willing to give me. So we're going to start that process again in October. So I will let you know what happens. But yeah, and then just a couple of other life updates in case you were interested. I think since the last time I filmed a video, I got promoted at work, which has been interesting to say the least. I may have mentioned that before. I don't remember. It's been so long. And I have allergies right now because it's the Midwest and it's false fall. Tomorrow it's going to be in the 80s again. Like yesterday it was like 60. It was freaking amazing. But yeah, so that happened, which is fine. I've traveled. I went to Alabama. Hot as shit. I had peaches from Alabama, which by far the best peaches I've ever had in my entire life. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to eat peaches again because they were so good. Where else have I been? That's it. I was thinking about going to British Columbia to visit my friends in Canada A. But not going to lie, I'm a little bit nervous about COVID. Like, I feel like there has been this like crazy resurgence of COVID, and not that I'm afraid of COVID. I'm not afraid of it in that sense. Like, but I just cannot be interrupted like that. And so I'm a little bit nervous about traveling because I feel like everybody has COVID again, but yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that, as well. And then I broke my hand in July and I'm out of my splint now. It was this hand. It was right here in my 5th metacarpal. I broke my hand under a heavy barbell. So I missed my my squat clean, as regular people would call it. In CrossFit, we just call it a clean, versus a power clean, which is when you do not squat under it. So just for clarification, but we were cleaning. Wasn't a weight, right, that I have not lifted before. Is a very comfortable, was 135 pounds. I have no idea what that is in kilos. You're going to have to add that up for yourself. But yeah, and I missed it. Like, I did not catch it correctly, did not get my elbows through. And the bar kind of crashes down on you, on your hand when you do that. And so I got right about here, if I were to draw a line there. So I've been seeing a hand specialist. I just got out of my splint. So you're like, wait a second, you broke it, but you're not in a cast or a splint? Nope, I just got out of it. So this happened on July 13th, and then I was out of my splint by the end of August. So like 6 weeks. And then they don't keep you in those splints any longer than necessary, even if you have a sprain, because they don't want you to get stiff. And for me, I've had surgery. You see the scar right there. I've had surgery on this wrist before. It's actually this hand. It was right here. And so because of that, they were like overly concerned about stiffness. And so I was able to get out of my splint like as soon as the fracture was no longer visible. I still had pain because I still technically have a sprain right here and the MCP joint, which is the thumb joint. My UCL appears to be intact though, which is really good. That's the ligament in your thumb. But I do have pain across the top of my hand. A little bit, you could say probably in my wrist. It's more so I think in my hand, in the hand, and then a little bit where that fracture was. So I still have a little bit of pain. But I feel like it's slowly getting better, which is good because to be honest, I've been doing CrossFit for 8 years and I've lifted weights for a long time and I played contact sports. And I am afraid to have them do an MRI because I'm afraid of what they might find in there. But if my pain does not go away from the sprain aspect of it, I can opt to have additional imaging done and we can make decisions if they find anything. I also discovered during this process that I have what they call a negative ulnar variance, which is your ulnar and your radius bone are the same height, the same length, I guess. And my ulnar bone is not. It is shorter. And so that could potentially cause an issue with stability, especially if I tore anything or anything is kind of ripped or whatever. But what I find very interesting is that because I've had surgery on this hand before, I am shocked that has never been noticed. No one ever brought that up because I've had an MRI, CAT scan, and multiple x-rays on this wrist prior to fracturing it. So I find that to be very interesting. So I thought that was kind of weird. But anyway, so that's all I have. I just wanted to give you, if you find this video, a quick update. That's all I got. Summer's almost over, thank God. I hate being hot. So bring on fall. None of that pumpkin spice stuff, though. It's gross. And I'll see you again later. Okay, bye.